If you're a homeowner in Bedford or Bedford West and you're thinking about selling your home in 2026, you need to hear this before you do anything else. If you plan to put a sign in the yard and list the home and assume the market will take care of the rest, that approach can quietly cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Now, it's not because Bedford isn't a desirable area anymore, and it's also not because buyers have disappeared from the market, even though it's a slower time of year. But the main thing is focusing on buyers, and their perceptions have changed over the years. And if you don't adjust how you sell your home, you'll feel it. Usually in the form of longer days on the market, fewer showings than expected, or offers that just don't feel right and have you compromising much more than what you thought you'd be giving up. I'm Logan Tomczyk, your real-life realtor here in Halifax. I work with sellers across Bedford and Bedford West, and my job is to help homeowners sell with clarity, confidence, and strategy, not guesswork. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what I like to call Selective Buyer Shift, why it matters so much in Bedford right now, and how smart sellers are adapting and winning in this market. I'll also share with you just a story from my own experience that I think a lot of Bedford homeowners will genuinely be able to relate to. Let's start with the biggest talking points about Bedford. First of all, Bedford is still a high demand area. Families still want to stay in these school districts. Buyers are still wanting the space that Bedford homes offer, and there's a lot of focus on the lifestyle that Bedford can provide here. The biggest change around Bedford hasn't been the core ideas associated with what makes Bedford truly great and special. What has changed is how buyers make their home buying decisions. A few years ago, buyers walked into a home emotionally. They were moving fast. They were competing and very aggressive with their offers, and often overlooking things they might have probably shouldn't have. I'm sure we've all read a story online about a buyer regretting their purchase of their home. In 2026, today's buyers are more analytical and they know more for what they're looking for compared to being in that rushed panic state. They walk through homes and they ask themselves questions like, how much is this going to cost me on a monthly basis? Or what repairs am I inheriting that the seller just doesn't want to take on? And what do those costs look like? Or how about this one? Will I be stretched too thin financially after I purchase this home? They're not just asking whether they like the home or not. They're asking whether it makes sense for them and their lifestyle first before they get into their costs and their monthly expenses. This is what I mean when I say selective buyer. They're still motivated. They're still all serious. Don't worry, they're still serious buyers, but they're just careful. And this is where sellers get caught off guard. Many sellers do what used to work. They freshened up the paint, they decluttered their home, and they staged it nicely with a professional stager. And then they're confused when buyers just walk through, nod politely, and leave without making an offer. Have you ever heard feedback from a potential buyer or from their agent that sounded something like this? Well, they liked the home, but they had concerns about future costs. Or what about this one? They're worried about the efficiency of the home. And how about this one? They're comparing it to another home that feels more move-in ready. That feedback doesn't mean that your home isn't good. It means that buyers are just comparing the risk more. And risk perception is everything in a selective market. Let me give you a real example from my own experiences as a realtor. But for privacy reasons, I'm gonna change all the names and everything. So I worked with a homeowner in Bedford who had lived in their home for quite a few years. She had raised her kids there. She maintained the property well. She genuinely believed, and rightfully so, that her home was a great one. When she decided to sell, her mindset was very common. This is Bedford. Homes sell here. We've seen that all the time over the years. And guess what? She wasn't wrong, but she was incomplete. We did what most sellers do. We cleaned, we renovated a few parts of the home, and we took professional photos and had a videographer in to highlight the features of the property, and we launched the listing for everyone to see this amazing home. The showings came quickly, which really reinforced our confidence throughout the process. But then something interesting happened. No offers. Now, buyers came through, liked the layout, liked the neighborhood. It was on a unique piece of land that really stood out, but instead of acting quickly, they slowed down. They asked more questions. They wanted more details and information. Things like, how old is the heating system? Have the windows been upgraded? What's the average power bill like in the winter months? How well is the home insulated? All common questions, but after a few weeks, I could tell that my client was starting to get a little frustrated with the process. She felt like buyers were nitpicking. She felt like the market had shifted against her. She started questioning whether she had missed her window to actually sell. And this is the moment where a lot of sellers make a costly mistake. They assume the solution is only in the price. And that might be the case in some situations, but that wasn't here. They think if I just drop the price, then the buyers will surely jump at my new home and these new updates. So we sat down and looked at the home the way a selective buyer would. We didn't do it emotionally, and we didn't do it with any nostalgic. We just went from it from a strictly strategic standpoint. Now, she had invested in the home over the years in ways that actually mattered, but none of that was really being communicated with the buyers directly. This is what was causing a disconnect with the buyers and where we were at. They didn't see the work that had been put into the property, and this caused them to feel uncertain about this home and not moving forward with confidence to really make this place call it home. So naturally, we changed our strategy. Instead of just listing the home, we told the story of the home a lot better. We explained what had been done, why it mattered, and what kind of ownership experience that the next buyer could expect to have with this fantastic home. We shifted the conversation from, is this home nice, to this home is a smart decision for you. Buyer confidence went up, interest increased, offers started coming in, and we actually sold the home for thousands of dollars more than what even I expected we would receive in an offer. That is the power of understanding today's buyer. This is also why I tell sellers in Bedford that selling well in 2026 is about perception, not panic. One of the smartest tools that you can use right now is having a pre-listing inspection. Now, this isn't because something is wrong with your home. You could have a brand spanking new home and still do this pre-home inspection because it gives you control. It gives you more power. It takes away negotiation from buyers, but it also lets you know what the issues are in your home, and you have time to fix them, to remove any uncertainties, and to give these buyers even more confidence that you've done the right things with your home before going to the market. Buyers also care about the monthly costs more than ever, and they're thinking about heating systems, insulation, windows, and long-term affordability. Even small improvements like servicing your systems, adding smart thermostats, or improving your light fixtures can improve how your home is perceived. Finally, there's storytelling. If your home backs onto a park, show how families use it. If your street is quiet and family oriented, then jump on that and let people know. Really explain how your home feels and what lifestyle you can offer, because you're not just selling square footage, you're selling confidence. The Bedford market hasn't weakened by any means, it's just matured over time. and sellers who recognize that are the ones who truly win in 2026. And that could be you. If you're planning to sell your Bedford or Bedford West home in 2026, I've put together a free seller's guide that walks you through preparation strategies and how to position your home properly in today's market. You'll find it in the description below. And if you want to talk through your specific situation, whether it's timing, pricing of your home, or whether selling now even makes sense for you, you can book a coffee chat with me directly through the link again in the description below. I'm Logan Tomczyk, your real life realtor. My goal is to help you sell smart, stay in control, and walk away feeling confident about your next move. If this video helped, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll fill you in on everything going on in Halifax and HRM for the real estate insights. And I'll see you on the next one.